Hey guys, I am stuck in construction. Love that western Nebraska construction. It's all the time in this time of year. And I was just thinking that I was also thinking that my glasses, I got these and they were super cheap, and the glare is like something terrible in these things. So sorry about that. But I was just thinking about, like, I've been thinking a lot this last week or so about reciprocity in relationships, and I am driving, but I'm not looking, so just so you guys know, I always think of stuff when I'm driving for some reason. Anyway, I shared a video kind of like this in a small group that I'm a part of with several of my close friends. And I don't know, I just feel like I need to share it in some type of platform like this, because I think having a healthy relationship is something that a lot of us in our day and age struggle with. And I am very blessed to have multiple, very healthy friendships that are outside of family, and also very healthy family relationships too. Not to say that they're perfect. I mean, I don't have a perfect marriage. I don't have a perfect relationship with my parents or my siblings or anything like that, or my friends, but they're healthy and they're wonderful, all of them. I mean, I really don't anymore. I really don't have a toxic relationship really in my life. There's toxic people, there's toxic, everyone has toxic family members and acquaintances and stuff, but as far as an actual relationship, I really don't have any. And I just wanted to kind of share my thoughts on this idea of reciprocity between two people, and not just your spouse, but your friends, and what that looks like. And I think everyone's probably seen this picture on Facebook or on the internet somewhere, and it talks about, it says, marriage isn't 50-50, divorce is 50-50, marriage is 100-100. And I love that. I think it's so true. But I don't think it just applies to marriage. I think this applies to every relationship in your life, really. You always have to put forth 100% if you want a healthy relationship, and not just 50-50 and expecting, because that has the expectation that the other person's going to make up the other 50%, and that expectation can hinder a lot of health in a relationship, I think. I mean, this is just my thoughts. I've never had a lesson on this or anything. It's just things from my personal experience and just my thoughts, because I have had very unhealthy relationships, and your marriage goes through rocky spots where it's not healthy as it could be, and so you just learn things. So I've been married almost 5 years, and my husband is a sweetheart. I love him to death, but we have had rocky parts of our marriage, and part of that is due to unhealthy and toxic people and relationships that we have outside of our marriage that really influence our minds and the way that we give to each other. So it hasn't always been that 100-100 transaction there. It's just been like 25-30, where we're both like but I really think that this idea has really changed the way that we interact with each other. And it's the same way with my friendships. So I shared this the other night, and I just think that more people need to think this way. I think everyone thinks that their way is the best way, but the idea that one person is always giving and receiving. A lot of people in relationships feel like it's never an equal amount of give and take, which is probably true. Usually in a relationship, one person's more apt to give more freely than the other. That's not necessarily a bad thing. That's, I think we all have different giftings and whatever. and we compromise in different ways. But I've had some health issues lately that has hindered my ability to do my normal activities and everything like that. And I've had to really rely on other people. You know, I've had to rely on my husband more for helping me with other stuff, and, you know, my family, my parents, and friends especially. Like, I have had multiple friends bring us dinner and stuff like that, and it made me think that, you know, the enemy always wants to put guilt in our lives, and he wants us to feel guilty and make us feel bad, when in reality we should feel so blessed that we have so many people that love us. And when you think about it, no one that's coming to help you is doing that to spite you. They're not like, I want her to feel guilty, so I'm gonna take dinner over there tonight. You know, no, they want to bless you. That's in their heart, to bless you and help rejuvenate your spirit and show the love of Christ when they do something like that. You know, they're serving, and I truly believe that for most people, I mean, never say never, obviously, but for most people, if they're doing that as an act of service and out of love, then that's a blessing for that person. So when you deny someone the ability to serve, even if it's for you, if someone's like, oh, do you need anything? Can I bring you dinner? I would love to bring you dinner, or I would love to bring you coffee, or take the kids for an hour so you could take a nap. You know, if you have a new baby or whatever, like, I would love to come over and help do dishes or whatever, and you could take a nap or take a shower, and you say no, you're actually robbing that person of a blessing. So back to this 100-100 idea, you know, putting forth 100% on your end might mean saying yes to that person and accepting help. Because if you say no, you're robbing them of a blessing, and you're not doing them favors. And I tell you what, like, I have this one friend, and I won't name her because I don't know how she would feel about that, but she brought us dinner last week. Huge dinner, homemade bread, this crock pot chocked full of this awesome soup and brownies and in the works, and we were just like, oh my goodness, this is crazy and so good and so generous of her. And she was like, before, when she was asking me about dinner, I was like, oh, you don't have to do that. She's like, no, you didn't answer my question. Like, can I do that? Like, just say yes. I was like, okay. So I said yes, and I realized that that's something she wanted to do. That was not like, she was not guilt tripped into volunteering to do that for us. She wanted to help, and she wanted to do that. She saw a need, and she wanted to fill it. And then 2 days, I'm not kidding when I say this, like a couple days later, she brought over more stuff. After the day she picked up her dishes, she brought more that night, two separate trips to my house. And she just loves to serve people. She loves to bake and share, and it was awesome. Both of us, I mean, it was really special to me, and hopefully to her. I mean, I feel like it was just a really awesome moment. But that inspires me and enables me to do that for somebody else. And that reciprocity. So I know that someday, if she is ill or not feeling well, or, has a injury or something, she knows I'm going to do the same for her. And she doesn't give because she knows she's going to get later. That's just what happens in a healthy relationship. I know sometime down the road, there will be an opportunity for me to serve her in that way, or just, for no reason. There doesn't necessarily have to be a reason to do that, but it's just an awesome thing to give without expectation, but to know that you have people in your corner when, you need help. I don't know how much of this will make sense. Hopefully I'll probably edit parts of it out, but just this idea, we're all in our own little worlds. We don't, we put these walls up, and, just me out on my own, the Lone Ranger. I don't need help from anybody, and, I don't owe anybody anything. So, we have this idea that we can just satisfy ourselves and we don't need relationship and this and that. But that is so not true. Like, I get that I'm an extrovert completely. Like, in social situations, sometimes I can tend to kind of revert inward or whatever. But even an introvert, I mean, you can't tell me that you never in your life have a need for another human's relationship. I mean, you just can't tell me that. I'm sorry. But it's not healthy. And so, I don't know. That's just my thoughts. To let people serve. Let people bless you. Because it's really not just a blessing for you. It's a blessing for them. Especially if they have the spiritual gift of like hospitality and service. That's not really just for you. Like, they're serving the Lord by blessing you. And I think we need to think of it that way. Like, accept that and be so thankful that you have people in your corner that want to bless you instead of telling them they can't do that, you know? And it's not just stuff like that, just in any relationship, you know, sending a kind word, calling out of the blue. You know, I see people post on Facebook a lot, you know, I haven't heard from you, so obviously I'm not that important in my life, so I'm just going to cut you out. But flip the switch. Have you reached out to that person? I mean, maybe they're thinking the same thing, you know? I mean, we all have this, like, mentality that our friends owe us something, and we don't need to reach out to them, and that's not a reciprocal relationship. Now, if you're reaching out and they just want to slam the door in your face and you've been friends for 10 years and you don't know why, well, and if you ask, like, if there's something wrong and the other person denies it, then maybe that relationship, I mean, sometimes we have these seasons where we have relationships and then sometimes they stop, and that's fine. You know? Don't beat a dead horse, but if you have a true relationship with someone that brings joy to your life and they speak life into you, then don't just expect that if they don't call you first every time that they, you know, don't want to be a part of your life. You have to call once in a while too. You know, we're also self-righteous, like, you know, they're not thinking about me all the time, so apparently I'm not important enough to them. Well, geez. Have you flipped the switch? Have you taken the initiative? Maybe that's just my mentality, because I'm not that patient of a person, I guess. I don't wait around. I don't sit by the phone and pine for people to call me. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Huh? Do you think it's 100-100 or 50-50? I would love to know. I really would. I want this to be a conversation starter. I want to know your opinion. I want to know what you think. I always think of the Lord and our relationship and wanting to model his love for other people, because he certainly did not give 50%. He gave 100, or 100, I mean. So he wants my 100 too. And I don't think that relationship should just be between my Heavenly Father and myself. I want to model that with my friends and my husband and my family. I want to give them my 100, and that might not just look like serving all the time. It might look like being served once in a while and being blessed by them. You know? Does that make sense? We just have such broken relationships, and it makes me so sad, you know? It really does, because I have prayed my whole life. I have yearned and longed for the friendships that I have now. And, you know, one of my greatest friends moved away this past summer, and we don't talk every day. In fact, we don't even talk every week. And yet, we're still giving 100-100 to each other. I don't doubt for a second that if I needed something and she was able to give it, or serve, or help, or whatever, that she would do it. I don't need her, like, constant conversation. I mean, I miss it, obviously. I could talk to her every day, but we both have kids, and that's just not how the real world works. Like, it's just, you know. But that reciprocity has not changed. I would do the same for her. I mean, she lives about 7 hours away from where I live, and if she needed something and I could help, I would hop in my car and drive over there right away and help if I could. And she knows that, and I know she would do the same for me. You know, family. I've got, you know, it's just, when they know that you would do that for them, most of the time they would be willing to do that for you. And if it's a true, genuine relationship and they love you, it's not going to be because they think they're going to get something in return, but they'll just know that you would return the favor.